to another Joyce Box video. So today we're gonna learn how to do this makeup look that I have on right now. A lot of you guys asked for a makeup tutorial under my Taehyung fan call as well as my Enhypen vlog, and I just never had the time to go about doing it, but I finally do now. It's been a long time in the waiting. I know a lot of you guys wanted it, so here it is. On my TikTok, I actually did a really brief version, but I know a lot of people want more in-depth videos, so I was like, okay, I'll make a YouTube video. So it's finally here. I hope you guys enjoy. So we're gonna sit here, have some girl talk, get to know each other, and maybe on the way you can learn how to do this makeup look. All right, let's go. Welcome to my bare face. Let's get started. So I already did all of my like skincare and my primer, just because I think that's a really like person specific thing. What I do won't necessarily work for you. Do whatever you need that suits your skin, and let's get into it. I'm so excited to do this video. It's not that I don't want to do a makeup tutorial, because I really like making makeup videos. I take really long to do my makeup, and that's me already not talking, because I like to listen to music and listen to podcasts while I do my makeup. But the fact that I have to explain everything that I need to do is gonna take so much longer. This recording process is going to be like almost 2 hours long, and I'm not excited for it, but for you guys. Oh, before I forget, I am wearing contacts, and I think contacts do play a big part in how your makeup turns out. These are from Moody, and they are blue circle lenses. If you are trying to follow this makeup tutorial without circle lenses, the turnout might be a little bit different, so keep that in mind. Okay, let's get started for real. The very first product that I actually use is a color corrector, and this is by NYX. It's the color correcting concealer. It is very beat up, if you cannot tell. Like, I have dug my fingers into this. But it's really good as a base, especially if your skin is acting up, like places where there's a little more redness, or if you have really dark eye circles like me, because I don't sleep. I'll take some of the green, these two bottom shades, and mix it with the green to formulate a foundation slash concealer that is my skin tone, but has green undertones to it to cover up those red blemishes. Go in here. My skin is actually doing okay today, so I could skip this step, but I'm just gonna show it just in case. Just maybe like these areas here. I just go into those spots on my face that are slightly more red, especially if you do have more uneven skin tones across your face. So it's a good thing to use this palette to kind of neutralize everything on your face. If you take a look, this side is a little more red than this side, so it looks more like evened out on this end. So that is the very first step that I do. If you have really good skin, you could probably get away with just using this as concealer and foundation. Okay, next step is foundation, and recently I've been using the Clio Mesh Cushion. I know that this is really popular on TikTok, but it took me so long to get it because sometimes I don't really trust everything that gets popular on TikTok, and this was also really expensive, so I never really like decided to try it out. My friend had it, and she said it didn't work well for her, so I was like, oh, can I try it? So I tried it, and surprisingly it worked really well with my skin, so now I've been using it. This is in the shade 2BP. I believe this is the lightest shade. You just go and dab it here a little bit, and then I dab some on the side just to even out a little, and then I go in all over my face. I just make sure to like evenly spread everything out. I know this cushion does have a little more coverage than other cushions, but I don't want it to look too cakey, so I like to dab a little bit on each side of my face. Go in to color up the crevices of my nose. There's also so many of you guys following me now. I did not expect to grow that fast on YouTube, and we have 500 subscribers. Thank you guys so much. Like, that's actually kind of insane. A lot of you guys asked me for a makeup tutorial, and I was like, damn, you guys want to know how I do my makeup? So although I'm kind of bad at talking to the camera while doing makeup at the same time, I'm trying my best. I have this like feeling that I need to like introduce myself because none of you guys really know who I am, but let's do a quick little introduction. My name is Joyce. I just turned 20 actually a couple weeks ago. My birthday is November 10th. Probably gonna be like a month or so once this video is posted. I don't know how the fuck I'm 20. I thought we stopped aging at the age of 16, but apparently not. So this is what it looks like after the foundation. It has a really glowy finish to it. I made a video before about how I use a lot of setting spray. When I mean a lot of setting spray, I mean a lot of setting spray. We're gonna go in with our first round of setting spray. I do this in between foundation, concealer, and at the very end, we're going with this e.l.f. setting spray. It is the Stay All Night Microfine Setting Mist. That should be good for now. I actually go through a lot of setting spray. That's why I like to use cheaper alternatives than like more expensive ones. All right, now that the setting spray is dried, we're gonna go in with this NARS Pot Concealer. So you can see that I've like literally dug into it. Go in with this brush. It's really high coverage. Although I will say, if you have dry skin, I would not recommend it just because it is pretty dry. And I just go in and cover up the spots that were not fully covered with the cushion. But yeah, I really enjoy concerts, and I'm also a dancer. I feel like I've hinted at it, but I've never really like said much about it, except for like the one vlog that I did that did involve my dance team. My dance group's name is H4T, and it stands for Hope for Tomorrow, which is really cute. So if you guys are in the Philly area, definitely like check out H4T. I let the concealer sit a little bit before going in with this puff that I have. I know this puff became really popular. It's by Immortals. What I use it now is to blend my concealer. I wish I could get like the small version, but I only have the big version, which is fine. I go in with the setting spray and I just spray some on the tip of this cushion, dab it on my hand, and then go in and blend all the concealer. I've been a K-pop stan since I would say like 7th, 8th grade, but I've like grew up with K-pop influence in my life. Like I would listen to Girls' Generation growing up, and then like Gangnam Style. I actually started getting into K-pop like on my own in middle school, and it was BTS. I think I liked them until DNA era, and then I kind of like fell out of them, and then I kind of just like started exploring a bunch of other groups. That's when I became like a multi-stan. I was in like my multi-stan era. I liked like 17. I liked NCT. I liked a lot of groups, honestly. I was just kind of liking everyone. My old group, I don't really have one, but I would say it's TXT just because they're like a recent old group, but I feel like I'm kind of falling out of them. But basically it's just like I feel like their music style is just not something that I really like anymore, especially with like their most recent comeback and what the music that they released over the summers, and the whole Freefall album has just not really been my style. I think Temptation was okay, but I also feel like that was also not my style. I still really like them, and I hope that their next album kind of pull me back in. My bias in TXT, I don't know. Definitely not Taehyung. Like, absolutely not him. Why would anyone like him? He is on my wall and just stares at me every night. I like him to the point that I did a fucking fan call with him. So now that I blended all the concealer in, I'm gonna go in with another round of the e.l.f. setting spray. I feel like if their music went more in a direction that was like closer to their Freeze era and their Fight or Escape era, I would in a heartbeat get really invested in them again. I think if they ever do like a world tour again and their music is still not my style, I definitely want to go like one last time to be like, thank you so much, as like a parting gift, especially when it's like an old group that I have, and I've never actually really liked the group as much as I did TXT. And I also am one of those people that are like kind of sentimental and that like really need closure when it comes to understanding a group. I just want to traumatize me. I want to fulfill all of my goals and all of my like bucket list as a fan, and being Barricade at their concert is definitely one of them. I've seen them so many times too. It's so bad. I spent so much money on TXT. It's embarrassing. I went to see them for the first time in New York. I went to see them both days. Because of PCD, I made a purchase and I was like, you know what? I'm going to Lollapalooza. So I flew my ass to Chicago to go see them, and I camped for like 16 hours to see them. We ended up getting Barricade, but Lollapalooza is a really different experience than the concert, and they only had like an hour and a half. I was fighting in the fucking trenches, was not fulfilled then, and then I saw them again for the VMAs. I was in the pit and I had Barricade in front of TXT, but we couldn't have our phones, and I was so... Okay, you know what? All right, let's move on to the next makeup step, and I'll talk while I do that because I'm just like talking to the camera at this point. While the setting spray dries, I do my eyebrows. Instead of using like an eyebrow pencil, I actually use this brush, this Etude House Cookie Chips. I go into this kind of red shade and this brown shade and mix them together. I always make sure that my eyebrow color is lighter than my actual hair. So I re-dyed it recently and it's like this dark brown. So I want to make sure that when I mix the colors together, it is a light brown color. Basically, having lighter eyebrows makes you look more youthful. I just follow the natural shape of my eyebrow and just follow it and then extend it at the end a little bit. So basically for the VMAs, I never actually went into detail about it because it's such a long story, but since now we're sitting here and we're talking, I'm gonna tell you guys. You had to like get tickets through a specific app. It was like a raffle system, so you had to get picked for it. I was really excited to see that like we were placed at the very front. I was like, oh my god, that means we're gonna be the first people into the arena, and we're probably gonna get a really good spot because everything was like GA, and they like the people at One Iota, they told you where to stand. Also, when we went in, they like separated us by like wristbands. So they would give everyone different types of wristbands. I think they meant something. I'm not entirely sure what they meant, but the person that was like at the security, they like told us like us getting 2 wristbands was a really good thing, and And I guess it was, because we ended up being barricaded. We were the first people in, and I was like so excited. The security guard was like, girl, you need to calm down. I was like, I can't, I'm so excited. That was when I was still really like positive about the whole thing. I didn't realize that TXT was gonna be performing on the other side of the fucking arena. And so I stood there for hours waiting for TXT to perform in front of me, and they ended up not performing. I guess the good thing was they were seated in front of us, and I did get interactions from the members, so that was really fun. The only thing that was not fun was that we weren't allowed to have our phones during the entire experience, so I couldn't document everything. So everything's just like, you just gotta believe me. You just gotta believe that this happened. I'm going in with this product. It's called Coloring Eyebrow. Honestly, I don't know what this is. It's by Heavy Rotation. It helps lighten your eyebrows a little bit. You just go over your eyebrow. Yeah, this is becoming like a VMAs video. Oh, it's because I never really got to talk about the VMAs, and I was like, it was too much to explain, so I never really talked about it. Let me just talk about the TXT part, and then we'll move on to the next topic, because this is taking up too much time. Basically, it was like kind of quiet, and they were seated like 5 rows up. There was a time where it got kind of quiet, and I was like, do I do it? And I asked Cece, do I do it? She was like, do it. And I was like, you know, I took the chance, and I saw Bomgyu, and I was like, try Bomgyu! Because it was quiet, he heard me, he looked at me, and then he waved, and I was like, got it! Although I don't have any video evidence, you just have to believe me. You just have to believe me that I was barricaded at the VMAs. Enough about the VMAs, let's move on to the next step. And the next step is actually setting powder. I use a Laura Mercier setting powder in translucent. This is my go-to. I really like it. It is pricey, but you do get a lot of product in one container. I've had this for, I would say, like 2 or 3 months. So I go in with this big, fat, fluffy brush, tap some of the powder on here, take the lid, and dab the brush into the lid to kind of get off excess. I just go ahead and dab it onto my face. Because the big brush kind of doesn't get my under eyes, so I like to go in with this like mini eyeshadow brush and take some of the powder and then set my eyes separately. We'll move on to contour, and I use the Flower Nose contour palette for my face. I use the MAC eyeshadow in the shade Omega for my nose, and then this one for my face. I go into this shade here and then dab it out because it is kind of dark. It's a little too deep for me, so I like to dab it on my hand, and then I just go along the side of my face and then like around the side of my face and then blend inwards. Honestly, I'm not that great at contouring my face, so I just kind of do something really basic and hope that it looks good. My nose contour, I use 2 separate brushes, this one as the main one, and then this one to like feather out here and then kind of do the sides of my nose and then down here. Go in here, and I like to blend it into my eyebrows because I think it looks better when it's blended in rather than just my nose floating in the middle of space. Just follow the shape. I will go in with the other brush and then go in on the sides of my nose to kind of bring in how fat my nose is. Hi, Editing Joyce here. I literally don't know what happened to the first part of the eyeshadow clips. It just disappeared and I can't find the clips anymore. So maybe I forgot to record it or something. I'm just gonna show you guys right now. The 2 palettes that I use is the Cookie Chips by Etude House and then Smoother by 3CE. So from the Smoother palette, I use this white shade right here over my entire eyelid to kind of create a new canvas for my eye. And then I use the Etude palette, these 2 colors down here that I've literally like destroyed. I use it to kind of add color on top of the new canvas to create like a separate base. According to the clips that I see right now, it's just me in the middle of talking while applying eyeshadow. I believe I go back into the Smoother palette after and use this to add color. I think that's the step that we're on now. So yeah, sorry, I don't know what happened to the clips. They just disappeared, okay? All right, bye. Oh, I forgot to mention, I actually recently just got a new phone. The iPhone 15 Pro Max. It's really cool to be able to play around with the camera because I know that Pro Maxes have really good cameras, and I'm really excited for my concert videos in the future to have better camera quality. Can I just say, even when I have a really close seat, my camera quality is so ass. Why is Taehyun pixelated? We're gonna go back to the Smoother palette. We're gonna go in with this deeper like red-orange color to kind of add depth to my eye at the very edge, and then blend it upwards and then over. Now once that's done, I go in with a smaller brush like this, use this dark red-brown shade. inner corner here. Do it to my other inner corner. I think these like small details are what pulls together my makeup. I'll take that same shade and I'll put it here as well. I go into this brown shade and I basically do the same thing that I just did earlier with the red, but I like to be a little more precise and not blend it out as much. All right, now that my base eyeshadow is basically done, I like to draw on my me-GRWM. I feel like me-GRWM is really important because I do have smaller eyes. My eyes are on the slimmer side. I will go into the smoother palette and I use this light brown shade here. I'll squint and then kind of find that like where the pouch is and then enunciate that line. So you can see that they're kind of there, but I like to go in with a me-GRWM pen. This is from Floret. And then I like to line it even more so it's a little more visible than it is right now. Ta-da! There you go. As you can see, my eyes became bigger after I drew in the me-GRWM. I feel like they're a little messy today, but that's because I'm doing it on camera and I'm like kind of talking and doing it at the same time. All right, we're gonna move on to the fun part. Glitter and shimmers. The Cookie Chips palette, I like to go into this bottom shimmer as a base first. This time I'm gonna use the Judy Doll highlighter that went really viral on TikTok. I don't think it works that well as a highlighter per se, but it works really well as a glitter. And I'm going to only put it on half of my eyelid here and kind of stop around this area. This next part is going to be really boring. There's nothing really special. You just curl your eyelashes. I use this eyeliner by Judy Doll. This I cannot explain. I don't know how I do my eyeliner. You're just going to have to watch me do it and hope that you understand. We're gonna go ahead and use the same eyeliner and then go in and draw lower lashes as well, because I feel like my natural lower lashes are not long enough to kind of show up, so I like to go in and draw fake ones in. Alright, we're gonna go with liquid glitter now. This is by Floret as well. So it has this really metallic look to it. Just put a little dot up here and then right under here. We're almost done, I promise. It's been a really long video. For blush, I like to use a combination of 3 different blushes. The first one I like to use is from Flower Nose. It's a little too dark for me to use on the center of my face. I go in and use it on the side of my face, almost as a contour. After Flower Nose and doing like the more contour-y stuff, I like to go in with 3CE's Nude Peach. I like to make sure that I focus on the center of my face here. For the third blush, I like to go in with this palette by Judy Doll. And I use this bottom shade right here. It is like this really nude peach color. And I take that and basically blend everything together. Before I do lipstick, I'm going to go back in with the really short, stubby brush once again and go into the highlight color again. I just put some on the brush and put it in my inner corner. I'm gonna go in with this Into You lip tint in the shade 05. I'm gonna focus on the center and kind of blend it outwards. Put a little dot, extra dot on the Cupid's bow area. Okay, that is basically everything, but we gotta go do one last thing, and that is going with our third round of the e.l.f. setting spray. And that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. This took a lot longer than I expected, but this was really fun to film. I hope you guys got to know me a little more. Like, I talked a lot. This video made me realize that I talk a lot and I just keep talking. A lot of the time, I'm not making any sense or I'm just repeating myself over and over again. If you guys are interested more in makeup videos, I'm definitely down to make more, maybe specific looks or maybe like concert looks or something. But yeah, this is my daily makeup. Okay, bye-bye.